What's up, guys? It's Ryan Norberg back with another video. Thank you guys for the support you've been giving me on the past couple videos. My past couple videos have gotten thousands of views and tons of comments, so I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the words of encouragement. You guys DM me and just comment on my videos. It means a lot to me to do this and see that the kind of feedback I'm getting. So thank you guys for all of that. Today we're going to do another race review. I'm also going to post some other tips videos in the future. I want to expand my content just to keep giving you guys more information and stuff that I wish I knew, when I was starting karting, or even to this day, stuff that I've just figured out that I wish I knew earlier. So hopefully I'll post some more tip videos, and of course I'm still going to post my races, especially the good ones that you guys like to watch. Today we're going to do a race review on my race at the ROK Florida Winter Tour in Pompano. It was a street course, so it was very difficult. We also had a really bad pre-final, so we had to start 18th. So it's going to be a race of me just kind of battling back through the field and just showing you guys what I would have done, what I could have done better, what I did do that helped my race. Just kind of go over things and tips that I used while going through this race. So before we get going, when you're starting in the back of the pack like this, you want to keep your eyes up. I've said it before, but there's not much strategy to being in the back of the pack when you're starting a race. You could always go down to the inside because the inside is always the safest line. Your mechanic's going to tell you that. He's going to yell it to you most of the time. But in most cases, sometimes there's a crash on the inside and it'll get bottled up and you can get involved in that, or there's a crash on the outside. So really, it's about just keeping your head on a swivel and looking for opportunities, but understanding that, somebody could change their line really quick and that could cause a chain reaction. So you want to be looking for people that are stacking up. You want to be looking for drivers that are, hitting each other, already being very aggressive, and you just want to make note of all that while you're going into the first corner. So we start the race, trying to get up on the driver's bumper in front of me. Door opens to the inside. You could see the inside row kind of stacked up a little bit, and then that's when I decided it was time to get out of the inside row and move to the outside. This track especially had a nice wide runoff in turn one, so it allowed me to get over there and not be worried about hitting the wall. That's something you also have to take note of in street courses. Is it's not like a regular track. When people crash in a regular track, they normally just wash off the racetrack. Here, they're going to stay on the racetrack. So when you're going through turn one, like I just did, and went to the outside, you want to keep your head up and make sure that nobody's even close to the wall, because if they do, they're hitting the wall and they're going to stop on the racetrack. So you can see the 332 getting really aggressive, and then he goes to the inside on the 368. As just with all the experience that I have, you can kind of obviously see this is not going to go well. He's either going to hit the barrier, the 332 is going to hit the barrier, or he's going to run into the 368, and there's probably going to be a pileup. Obviously, the first thing to note is the momentum's carrying them to the outside of the corner, so they're probably going to wash out. So you want to set yourself up to stay to the inside, hug that inside line, because there's going to be some contact, and they're either going to slide out or they're going to hit the barrier. So you got to just back off a little bit and try and adjust yourself to the situation as it unfolds. So you can see the 332 ran into the 368. They both got into it, caused a little accident on the outside. I set up enough that I was set up to hug the inside and stay out of the chaos. Came through, picked up a few positions, and then immediately back into attack mode, and you've got to start going. Especially when you're this far back, there's no time to waste, and that's going to be a few of the mistakes that I make here during this race. I waste a little bit of time, and you'll see later on in the run how that affects me in this race. So you can see this track is really bumpy, and there's not many passing zones. It's really tight. A lot of these hairpins are double apex hairpins. Here I look to the inside of the 332. He goes deep on the brakes. You can see he's being aggressive as well on the driver in front of him. So I didn't want to risk that early in the race. Again, look to the inside. He brakes late, and he runs into the driver in front of him. Then he goes the inside. You can see contact. So something that, I was making note the whole time, you see the 332, he's driving in late on the brakes. He's hitting the guy in front of him in the braking zone. You can see he's antsy. He wants to go for that pass. Now, I couldn't predict that crash was going to come, but I could predict that he was going to make a pass in these next couple corners. So with that being said, looking at that driver and looking how he's driving in this style, I could see that there was going to be a door opening here soon. So I wanted to set myself up to get that pass if he makes a pass to pass the driver he was passing, or if they kind of get tangled up together to pass both of them. Luckily, recognized that he went to the inside. The other driver kind of cut him off a little bit. He didn't have the pass. They both collided. Easy 2 spots. Now, the drivers in front of me already battling. For me, the pressures are low this early in the race. Just try and keep your head under you and just not panic about the kart. You don't want to rush the issue there. The 339 kind of got wide. I could have stuck it next to him, but I wouldn't have had the inside for that next section. So I backed off, let him have the position. No reason to risk passes this early, when you can make sure you can get it done later in the lap. 339 kind of slid out of the last corner. Look for the pass, go in late, get underneath them, easy pass. And now on to the next guys. And so again, looking further ahead, and that's the biggest thing you need to do when you're coming through the field, is not looking at the kart directly in front of you, but trying to look 2-3 karts down the road. You can see the 2 karts in front of this pack that I'm in are kind of racing hard. They're blocking, passing. So now, there's going to be opportunities. Again, you've got a stack of about 4 karts here, and you want to be, when you're in the back of that stack, you want to take advantage of passes that are being made in front of you, especially when you're not making the pass. And so right here, they're blocking, they're kind of defending a little bit. So I'm looking to set myself up to get a run off the corner and either over under some of these guys or just make something happen. You see the pass went in right there, didn't get it to stick. Drivers are kind of getting into it. And then you see stack up, and I lost a position. So this is something I should have done better at. Going into that corner, you could see the drivers were stacking up. And instead of setting up to swing and get by them, I decided to follow them through the corner on the inside tighter line. And then once they kind of collided with each other, just had nowhere to go and you're stuck behind them, hit them, and then they drive over each other. There's a little accident, and now you lose another position just because I didn't set up for the corner and I didn't try and over under them at all. I just kind of stayed there, and that really hurt my race. You can see that I get passed by one of the guys I just passed, and I've lost a ton of time on the group that was just in front of me. And that, when you're coming through the field, is a lot of time. That creates so many problems for you down the run, because once everybody singles out around lap 10, lap 15, it's just people putting in laps. The only guys that are going to do passes are guys that are faster than everybody. So for the most part, majority of the people are just going to stay single file, and there's going to be pretty big distances between them. There's going to be 5 tenths, 3 tenths, 6 tenths. There's going to be these gaps, and it'll take 2-3 laps to get by just one kart, where in the beginning, it only takes a lap. So this mistake that I made, I got 2 positions, but then I lost one that I already had. I could have easily gotten by this group if I just would have set up a little wider, undercut both of them when they made contact, and then just kept driving. So I just decided to cut a little bit of just the laps. I'm just chasing this guy back down. Nothing really interesting. I'll actually post the full video later, just so you guys, if you guys want to watch the full race and every single lap, I'll post that for you guys just so you can watch it, kind of focus on just the racing and not have me talking over anything. So I've caught back up to the 339. From just the last time I passed him, where you're stronger than he was. So I'm just probably going to take the same opportunity that I did the last time. Later lunge on him this time. He didn't slide and make the mistake that he did the last time, but decided, it worked the first time. I'm sure he's knowing I'm going to go there again. It's early in the race, so he's probably not going to block. So I took the opportunity, went in deep, got the pass done. Again, I'm just probably going to cut off the laps that I'm driving alone. I'll post the video later, so don't worry if you guys want to watch these laps, you can. So we've caught up to my teammate, Jacob Gulick. Just had a little bit more pace than him. He knows I was coming through. He sees that I'm making the pass. Just kind of let me by. It's nice that he did that. It helped my race a little bit. Biggest thing though, when you're making these passes on people when you're coming through, I spoke about it before, but you've got to make them clean. You've got to make them fast. You've got to lose as little time as possible. If you can get your teammate to leave the door open and you get by, great. If you can pass somebody without losing much time, great. That's the goal right now, is to minimize that time you spend chasing down. Because you've seen after these last 3 laps, there's been big gaps in between the drivers, and that's just eating away the time that you need to come back to the field. especially this race, you know, we had the pace to win the race. We were the fastest guy on the track. Whenever I was doing a lap alone, it was one of the fastest laps. And so these laps that you're just spending, just driving around the track, are just wasting your race. And, you know, those early moves that I made, you know, that I didn't make the right move, this is where you're seeing that play out, and where my race is losing because of that. So in the end, you know, you got to make smart passes. It will dictate a lot at the end of the race. It will change the outcome dramatically if you are faster and more aggressive and smart in the beginning laps of your race. So I actually spent about 3 laps chasing these 2 drivers down. Again, laps I would have rather been racing and moving forward. You can see these drivers have been battling. That kind of helped bring them in a little faster as well. These guys have been going at it the past couple laps up in front of me. You know, so I've been looking down the track, seeing that I want to get through these guys pretty quick because I don't want to get caught up in their battle. I want to, you know, pass each one of them and get going, because if they start racing and they start defending, now I'm involved in this and it's just going to waste more of my time. You see the 312 went in a bit too deep into that corner. I decided to take advantage of it. That's something else you really need to focus on when you're coming through the field. A lot of these, you know, opportunities that happen in front of you, you've got to capitalize on. So as soon as I saw him going too deep to the corner, you know he's going to have a bad exit out. And if he doesn't block, I need to take this opportunity right now, and I need to get going forward. Again, this is just valuable time you're going to be losing if you stay behind these guys any longer. So now I've got by him, and now I can just start working on the driver in front of me. So noticing the driver in front of me, you can see I have a little bit more pace. I'm braking later than him. Got a little bit more grip on my cart. Tire pressure was probably a little bit lower initially, so I'm able to, you know, make up that time. What I'm thinking about is, where was I catching this group? You know, he was the first guy in that pack that I was in, so he's setting the pace there. So if I'm catching both of those drivers through the tighter section of the track, I know that's where I'm faster. So as I made that last pass, I'm already thinking about where would be the best place to set him up. It's probably going to be in these 3 corners here. I stay behind him in this one. I notice I've got the speed, so I decide, boom, easy pass to the inside. He doesn't defend or anything. Start working on the guys in front of me. A little signal, he works with me, so it's perfect. You know, I'm able to keep the car straight, not have to defend at all, and just get going on the next guys. Again, you guys see the gap in between the drivers. You know, I told you there's big packs that get created, and these gaps in between, and this is probably going to take me another 3 laps just to catch that guy. So we've caught in the next pack. You can see this driver is looking back. It's later in the race now. There's probably only 6-7 laps left. You know, you've got to expect some defensive driving out of these drivers, even when, you know, you've got so much more pace. They're probably going to defend. Even at 6th, 7th place, they want to hold on to that spot. So something you want to do is try and catch this guy off guard. He looked back on the straightaway. He got a little run off that corner, but I'm going to throw it in late just because I know he knew he had a little bit of a gap. But if I get any closer, he's going to start defending, and that's going to be more valuable time that I'm losing. So able to throw it in late, kind of unpredictable on him. I'm not sure if he knew it was coming. Clearly he didn't look back in that corner, so I don't think he expected it coming. But that's something, you know, you've got to start thinking about later in the run. If you catch up to these people and, you know, they see that you're behind them, you don't want to waste any time, because the odds are they'll probably just start blocking. Here I catch a 307, and this is another big mistake that I made. For the next 3 laps, I end up just staying behind them, because I never feel like I get the opportunity to pass cleanly. I didn't really want to throw it in there too late when I could have sometimes, and I end up just like staying behind them, and I end up wasting 3 laps. And it really hurts my race because there's only 5 laps left at this point. So I stay behind him. There's a few corners, like right here, I could have thrown it down to the inside. Would have been not as clean as I would have liked to, but you know, you're coming from the back, you don't have time to waste at this point. So me trying to be nice ended up really hurting my race. I'm driving over the driver. You know, you can see he's sliding off corners. He's looking back a lot. He knows his speed. He knows he's not that fast right now. He knows I came from the back. So, you know, I should have taken advantage of it earlier, because, you know, luckily I don't think he starts blocking, but you know, it did hurt my race, and it did stop me from finishing inside the top 5. And there you see, past the inside, 2.5, 3 laps. I wasted staying behind him. It was an easy pass. I could have made earlier. I waited till I was really close to his bumper when I could have done it probably a few karts back. All that work for just that simple of a pass is frustrating. You know, you could spend more time doing better things on the track and driving better. At this point, I just drive around for I think 2 more laps and just 2 laps left when I come by the finish line. And yeah, finished 6th place. So it was a really good race. I really enjoyed the track. It was fun. It's not always fun coming from the back, especially when you know you could have done better and you know you had the kart and the speed to race up front. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's the race you're given. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to do some more, post some more videos for you guys. The content's doing really well. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. Let me know what other ideas you guys want. Let me know some things you're struggling with. I always try and give like advice in the comment sections over DM. If you need help with anything, have any questions, feel free to let me know. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Make sure to go check out my website as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.